Imagine a world where convicted rapists can simply say, "I'm a woman now," and the police take their word for it, where criminals dictate reality, and the justice system bows down to delusion. Guess what? That's not some dystopian sci-fi future. It's happening right now. An independent review just recommended that police forces and the NHS return to recording biological sex instead of self-declared gender identity. Sounds like basic common sense, right? But here's the problem. Our government refuses to enforce it. Why? Because the people in charge don't care about truth, justice, or even your safety. They care about something else entirely. Control. Let's break this down. Right now in Britain, if a convicted male rapist identifies as a woman, he can be recorded as female in police databases. That means when researchers study crime statistics, rape cases committed by men are being recorded under female offenders. Courts are allowing it, the media won't question it, and now the government won't even force police to acknowledge reality. This is beyond incompetence. This is intentional deception. By allowing criminals to rewrite their identity at will, the justice system is being warped into a parody of itself. If a woman is assaulted by a biological male, but that male is classified as female, how does that serve justice? How does that help victims? It doesn't. Because this isn't about truth. It's about rewriting reality to fit an agenda. And here's where it gets darker. Removing sex from public records doesn't just affect crime statistics. It distorts medical research, gender pay gap studies, sports, and every policy meant to protect women. This is not an accident. This is part of a bigger, calculated movement to erase objective reality and replace it with subjective, ever-changing nonsense. At this point you might be asking yourself why? Why would the government and institutions willingly push such an absurd, obviously dangerous policy? The answer's simple. To break you. The ruling class, politicians, corporate elites, globalist bureaucrats, they know that a strong, stable society is harder to control. People with a sense of identity and purpose and community, they just don't roll over and accept tyranny. They resist. They ask questions. They demand accountability. So what's the best way to ensure people don't resist? You demoralise them. This attack on reality isn't just about gender. It's part of a larger cultural assault on truth, stability and morality. They tell you men can become women. They tell you criminals deserve more rights than their victims. They tell your children that they can choose their sex. They dismantle everything that gives you a sense of certainty. Your faith, your family, your traditions, and replace it with confusion, instability, and constant anxiety. And what happens when a society is full of confused, broken people? They stop fighting back. They become weaker, more compliant, easier to manipulate. They accept whatever new policy is thrown at them, whether it's more censorship, more surveillance, or more restrictions on their freedom. Because when everything is upside down, when you've been gaslit into questioning your own eyes, you'll believe anything. And that's the whole point. They want you exhausted, frustrated, and hopeless. They want you so worn down by the madness that you eventually give up and accept their rules. Because a population that no longer believes in truth is a population that will accept anything. If all of this sounds familiar, that's because it is. This isn't new. The Bible warned us about exactly this kind of deception. Genesis 1 states, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them." Male and female, not whatever you feel like today. Not whatever the government wants to pretend is real. This is an undeniable truth established by God himself. And when societies reject God's truth, they fall into chaos. Isaiah warns us, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness." What else can you call a system that allows violent criminals to manipulate justice, that erases the very concept of male and female, that teaches your children lies? This is evil being repackaged as progress, And it's not just wrong, it's destructive. Throughout history, when civilizations abandoned truth and embraced madness, they collapsed. Rome fell when decadence replaced discipline. And if we continue down this path, where criminals are empowered and truth is suppressed, our society will face the same fate. So what now? Because if we can't even acknowledge biological reality in the criminal justice system, what comes next? If a murderer identifies as innocent, do we just let them walk free? If a grown man identifies as a child, does he get to enroll in primary school? Don't write it off. Where does this end? Here's the harsh reality. It doesn't end unless people start pushing back, unless people refuse to accept the lies. Because this isn't just about one ridiculous policy. This is about the entire structure of reality being rewritten to suit a small, powerful group that thrives on confusion and control. The government doesn't want to fix this. The media doesn't want to expose it. That means it's up to us, ordinary people who can still tell the difference between truth and madness, to say enough is enough. Because if we stay silent, this insanity will only get worse. If you refuse to let reality be rewritten, please share this video. Comment below. Do you think the government's refusal to fix this is deliberate? And most importantly, speak the truth wherever you can, because a society that abandons truth is a society that won't last.